ZNS News is brought to you by the new BTC. Fiber is here. Faster, stronger, more reliable. Together we are unstoppable. Switch today.
First at 11. A reflective look at the work of Bahamas Grid on the ground 3 months into its $130 million project, which, among other things, staved off more than 180 outages on New Providence alone. Also, a call for unification in a key community amid a recent crime wave. That call made by the Prime Minister following a walkabout in the Mount Moriah constituency. And we look to a farm on North Andros as there continues to be a greater push for self-sustainability and less reliance on imports. The Bahamas Tonight at 11 starts now. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the broadcast. Just 3 months into its $130 million grid modernization initiative, the Bahamas Grid Company has made significant progress in strengthening New Providence's energy infrastructure. Bahamas Grid crews have installed or replaced 80 overhead distribution poles, upgraded 56,000 feet of wire, and load balanced more than 20 circuit miles of the primary voltage system. To support growing demand and improve grid resiliency, 3,800 feet of underground cable has been laid and 18 new service connections have been added, which are directly benefiting approximately 6,000 consumers. On the transmission side, the company has installed 105 new steel poles and pulled over 83,000 feet of high-capacity conductor. And thanks to 47 fault interrupters installed across New Providence, 182 potential outages have been prevented already this year, which would have caused over 170,000 service interruptions among 48,000 customers. The recent spate of crime in the Yellow Elder community prompting the Progressive Liberal Party's Mount Moriah Constituency Association to hold the first in a series of community forums seeking resolutions in tackling the ongoing crime wave. Community leaders heard from the Prime Minister, who called on constituents to unify in addressing this issue. Desmond Saunders reports from Yellow Elder.
The crime prevention meeting at C.W. Sawyer Primary School provided an open outlet for Mount Moriah residents to meet one-on-one with key government stakeholders charged with the management and curtailment of crime. Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis says while his administration has made tremendous progress in stemming the flow of violent crime in the country, his government remains relentless in crime reduction.
My government is doing its part. We have strengthened the police force. More officers on the ground, more vehicles, better equipment, improved training. We are investing in the prevention side too, in youth programs, mentorship, job opportunities, after-school support. And we have rolled out a 5-point plan to tackle crime in a way that is structured, targeted, and sustainable.
During Monday's crime forum, the Prime Minister was joined by National Security Minister and Member of Parliament for Freetown, the Honourable Wayne Monroe, Mount Moriah Member of Parliament, Mikel Barnaby, Education Minister and Angliston Member of Parliament, the Honourable Glenys Hannah Martin, who reached out to residents. Prime Minister Davis reminded Mount Moriah that crime is a collective responsibility.
We are doing the work, but we cannot do this work alone. Only the community can rebuild what has been broken. Only neighbors can restore what silence has allowed to grow. Now, you all remember the porch? Some of you all might be too young to know what the porch is. That's when folks sat outside on the porch and watch the neighborhood. Right. When you get here, tell your mommy, I say hi. Shout it across the fence. That wasn't just about being friendly, you know. That was how we kept each other safe. That was love. That was accountability.
Several high-ranking police officers and government ministers walked door to door to hear the concerns of residents. Monday's walkabout and forum, one out of many events that will be staged in the coming weeks in crime hotspots. Desmond Saunders, The Bahamas Tonight.
Thanks, Desmond. The Office of the Prime Minister confirming that a viral video on social media titled "The Diplomatic Bombshell" is false, misleading, and entirely fabricated. The video does not depict any real events, statements, or actions taken by the government of the Bahamas or its representatives. The OPM's release maintains the content is artificially generated using AI tools, and the characters and scenarios portrayed are not based on actual occurrences. It is a synthetic production that falsely claims to reflect official diplomatic positions, misrepresenting both Bahamian and international affairs. The Office of the Prime Minister urges the public and media outlets to exercise caution when encountering such content and to verify information through credible government channels. Compare and contrast. The Parliamentary Registration Department performing its checks and balances to ensure those registered are a true representation of the voting population. Mukesh Lapinder has the details.
Cleaning up the voter register in the run-up to a general election, no easy task. Neither does it happen overnight. As Parliamentary Commissioner Harrison Thompson notes, the whole process started as far back as 2021. From then to now, 15,000 deceased people have been removed.
Cleaning up the register, we work with the Registrar General's office, we work with the funeral homes, we work with the prison and all those. So we have all of our partners out there that we work with to get all the information we need to make sure we clean the register as best as we can. We clean on a daily basis. We get the information, even in the newspapers. We use the newspapers also. On Thursday, when all of the death notices are issued, we have all kind of check and balances to make sure that we cover. We try to capture all and sundry who needs to be deleted from the register. Because we really don't want a register that to give a false impression that you have so many persons on the register, but only a small portion voted.
Thompson guesstimates that between 50 and 60 people are removed from the register each Thursday based on their obituaries alone. Now, coming out of the COVID-19 pandemic, talks floated of the Bahamas making the move to electronic voting. Keeping mum on the specifics, Harrison only shared that he and his team are working feverishly towards introducing a biometric card for the next general election.
We're working with our partner who's working very hard, and we're hoping that in the not-too-distant future we'll be able to come back to the public and invite you to come for verification because the idea is to have biometrics, your facial and your fingerprints, as much as possible on that card, and something that's like a keepsake, and that to modernize the system will make the process a little easier going forward.
For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Mukesh Lapinder.
Thanks, Mukushla. The Water and Sewerage Corporation is battling significant water loss, but big plans are underway to turn the tide. During a press conference yesterday, WSC executives disclosed plans to not only reduce water loss, that's in the billions of gallons, but save millions of dollars in the process. Lyle Maycock reports.
The Water and Sewage Corporation initiated its water loss program in 2019, successfully saving over 16 billion gallons, equal to $130 million in savings. They've also boosted billed revenue from 5 to over 8 million gallons without increasing production. However, WSC still records daily significant water loss. According to manager of Waste and Leaks Devon Wilmont, the corporation is currently losing over 3 million gallons of water per day. He says the plan is to cut this figure in half by the end of next year and highlights plan to do so inclusive of new infrastructure, smart meters, and combating theft.
As a part of this project, we've introduced 32 pressure zones across New Providence. This helps us pinpoint leaks and manage pressure more efficiently. This means fewer supply cutbacks and less reliance on booster pumps.
The ultimate goal of the WSC is a more resilient and cost-effective system.
Every gallon we recover is a gallon we don't have to purchase or produce, which helps us control costs and invest in other parts of our system. And third, it boosts our operational efficiency. We're using better data, acting faster, and getting ahead of the problem before they become major issues.
WSC says with these upgrades in motion, customers can expect more savings, stronger service, and a more sustainable future. Reporting for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Lyle Maycock.
Still to come, the Deputy Prime Minister promotes the Bahamas at Kanto. You're watching the Bahamas tonight at 11. More news in just a moment.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, where safety is first.
Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, the Honourable Chester Cooper, among a group of regional ministers representing Curaçao, Bermuda and the Cayman Islands, who participated in a panel discussion at the 40th Annual Kanto Conference yesterday afternoon. The session is titled Beyond Connectivity, Charting the New or Next Frontier in National Transition, from tech tourism to digital tourism to using technology in agriculture. The tourism minister says this is an opportunity to get on the cutting edge of developments and trends across the globe.
I had occasion to talk about what I see as potential opportunities, working along with SpaceX partnership, building data centers perhaps, but really investing in the infrastructure, ensuring that we're building capacity and using our best minds, keeping our best minds at home. But collaboration and what I call co-peating, I think is the key of Kanto's conference this week.
With more than 750 delegates attending this conference, the Deputy Prime Minister was also delighted to highlight the boost this event will have on the country's #1 industry.
As the Minister of Tourism, I'm delighted to have almost 800 delegates here. It's a great boost for tourism. I'm happy that this is happening in the Bahamas, and I've invited the delegates to visit some of the other islands of the Bahamas as well.
Meantime, the Prime Minister of Grenada today urged Kanto delegates to work towards a unified, sustainable and digitally empowered society in order to better shape the Caribbean's place in the global telecom sector. Fern Carey has that angle.
Prime Minister Mitchell, who is CARICOM's lead head for Information and Communication Technology, or ICT, in telecommunications, noted that the digital transformation in the region must be accelerated, integrated, and human-centered. He also touted a wider, unified vision of a CARICOM without digital borders by 2030.
This vision addresses our fragmented markets and our infrastructural gaps by seeking to promote harmonization of spectrum and regulatory frameworks, enabling cross-border digital identity recognition, expanding roaming-free mobile environments, and developing shared approaches to cybersecurity, AI, and cloud governance.
The importance of a regional approach in addressing the ever-growing threat of artificial intelligence and cybersecurity also featured prominently in Prime Minister Mitchell's keynote address.
The now familiar technologies such as AI, quantum computing, 5G, and blockchain are no longer futuristic. They are shaping the now, the present. The question echoed by Prime Minister Davis is not whether we will participate, but how, and crucially, on whose terms.
The conference comes to an end tomorrow here at Bahamas, with participants focusing on key takeaways they'll be working on until they meet again next year. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Fern Carey.
Thanks, Fern. And we end with this family island story. In his visit to North Andros this past weekend, Charles Fisher visited a farm owned by Rai Badu. Here's his report.
You see the size of those mangoes and the cucumbers? Everything here grows big. Badu's nursery farm in Nicholstown. And that's not all.
They have here like 75 June plum trees, 300 guava trees, about 80 breadfruit trees. I have lime, sugar apple, and a variety of native to the Caribbean, especially Guyana. And I found this to be very, very productive, and I can safely say after leaving my job at school, I'm retired, I can make a handsome living on this operation here.
With so much to offer, marketing must be good.
Most of my stuff I send to the farmers market at Gladstone Road, like sugar apple, June plum, sapodilli, mangoes, soursop. The other stuff that I incorporate this project with are vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, sweet pepper, tomatoes, cucumber, that go directly to super value. When I have excess, I will send to the packing house.
Not much livestock here, just laying chicks who produced eggs and a few for the gathering. And what is Andres without the crabs? I know you're thinking crab and dough, crab and rice, baked crab.
Input for agriculture is very, very expensive in the Bahamas. So you have to make sure that you have the know-how, because you can't just jump and go and prepare a piece of land and buy input like seeds, seedlings, fertilizer, and you don't know what to do. You have to study the soil in the Bahamas, and that is why it was a win-win situation for me. I understand the soil, understand what kind of nutrients it needs, and that is why you see my crop producing so healthy. But anybody can make a handsome living doing permanent crop and cash crop. It's not impossible. It's far highly paid than many, many other jobs.
Now, this tree got my attention with limes so expensive in Nassau.
That is what they call bittersweet, but we call it, the scientific name is civil orange, and that is what we use to make conch salad. I have about 150 trees at the back that are producing now, just start to produce.
And nothing like ending our tour with some nice, fresh, off-the-tree coconut water. For Access Now, I'm Charles Fisher.
Green as far as the eye can see. Thanks, Charles. Amajal Knowles has a look at what's coming up in sports tonight. Amajal?
And some of our top stars hit the track. Details of that story and more coming up in sports. Welcome to your Tuesday Sports Check, everyone. I'm Amajal Knowles, topping sports. A number of our top track stars in action over the weekend. Up first, World 60-meter hurdles record holder Devin Charlton in a stacked field over in Monaco in the Wanda Diamond League meet. Charlton competing in the women's 100-meter hurdles. She would get out to an extremely fast start and was in contention for a top spot. She would clip the 10th and final flight of hurdles and finish 7th in 12:69. Charlton's time, though, once again surpassed the qualifying standard of 12.73 seconds for the World Championship slated for later this year. Charlton ended up trailing Jamaican Olympic bronze medalist Megan Tapper, who clinched the title in a personal best time of 12.34 seconds. On the men's side, in a much-anticipated showdown in the men's 400 meters at the 2025 Ed Murphy Track Classic in Memphis, Tennessee, all eyes were on Bahamian Stephen Gardner and American Quincy Wilson. Wilson, the 17-year-old running out of lane 5, made up the stagger to pass the 29-year-old Gardner in lane 6, coming off the first curve on the back stretch. As they headed to the final curve of the 200-meter mark, Gardner eventually stopped as Wilson surged to an impressive win in 44.10 seconds, the 4th fastest time this year, to lower his world under-18 record. No word on Gardner's status as he continues to battle the injury bug that has hampered his return to the international circuit since winning the world title in 2019 in Doha, Qatar, and Olympic gold. In baseball news, overnight, Jazz Chisholm Jr. making history, becoming the first Bahamian to compete in the MLB All-Star Home Run Derby. The moment serving as a special one for the Bahamas is joining Chisholm on the field as his pitcher with his longtime mentor, Jerron Sands, Director of Baseball Operations for the International Elite Sports Academy. Jazz bowing out in the first round, though, with a total of 3 home runs. He spoke afterwards about the experience.
I had a lot of fun. I enjoyed every second of it.
Do you think you'd do it again?
I told him next year, I said if I got more than 20 homers by the half next year, I'd do it again. And actually try to hit homers every swing instead of, trying to keep my swing. No, it's not that I wasn't trying to hit homers. I was trying to keep my swing and hit homers instead of just trying to hit everything in the air. I was trying to keep my line drive swing and hit homers. But, it gets better. I had that full circle moment in my head during the round. It was like with like a minute and a half right before I called my timeout. I don't know. I think I hit a fly ball to the infield or something like that, or a foul ball back. And I smiled to myself, and I was like, dang, we actually doing this right now. We actually hitting in a home run derby, and he's actually throwing to me. And then after that is when, my mind really just cleared to, bro, we're having fun and we're enjoying this,
And And more from this weekend's sailing festivities, the story of the young skipper that took home all the hardware at the All Andress and Barry Islands Regatta. Charles Fisher talks one-on-one with young Crystal Cartwright.
18 years old, and Crystal Cartwright made it look like he was the veteran in Morgan's Bluff, sailing in all classes, but skippering the Susan Chase by himself in Class B to the overall championship. And get this, he is the youngest ever in any regatta to be named top skipper.
I'm glad they gave me the opportunity in a not so competitive regatta like the other main three regattas. So hopefully one day I'll be able to sail in the main regatta.
How much does this boost your confidence now?
It boosted a lot so that I got the skill to compete with the older skippers. So.
Now Crystal comes from a sailing tradition family. Grandfather, the legend late Lauren Knowles, uncle top skipper Stephen Knowles, and father Colin Cartwright, skipper of the Hog, better known as the Sacrifice.
I let him take over, I just tell them what to do and what sail to put on and take care of the boat, and they do good. I teach them for years. Last year we been in Andress. Last year he won the C and the E class, so I didn't even go in the boats. I just stayed on shore and watch him sail, and I told him any little mistakes I correct him, and right now he's sailing pretty good. He sailed a chase in Long Island, 1.5 races. He come over and sail a chase, and he catch a feel of the boat. He's serious into sailing.
Brother Colin Jr. was his crewmate.
Boy, like I said, I just tell him what to do, and he did it, and came to victory.
Did you pass on any message to him and say any tips?
Yeah, I told him there's something here and there, but I can't say it on media. That'll disclose.
Race Commodore Dwayne Higgins praising the performance of all the young skippers.
But I'm really proud of Crystal Cartwright, also Caden Knowles. These are the younger sailors. Of course, Drake Knowles as well. Some other young sailors who are eventually taking over the scene. Whether we like it or not, they're here to stay.
So what did Cartwright do to celebrate?
I'm really a party freak like that, so I just chilling.
I agree with you. Watch and listen out for young Cartwright. The future is here. For ZNS Total Sports, I'm Charles Fisher.
Thanks, Fish. And the summer camps continue to roll out as the summer season is now in full swing. Over the National Beach Soccer Stadium, the Bahamas Football Association hoping to strike their goal in their latest venture. Intern Swanson Gibson Jr. tells us more in this report.
Of the many sports camps occurring throughout the summer, the Bahamas Football Association having their annual beach soccer camp near the Paradise Island Bridge. BFA Technical Director Bruce Swan spoke about the inspiration to continue this effort.
Well, the camp is to expose kids to the sport of beach soccer and also consolidate the older ones that have been here for the last few years, consolidate their skills. We are building the program. As we know, we do very well at the senior level, and the next generation would come from these kids here. Well, for this camp, they're working on running on the sand, just basic how to run on the sand, because that's a challenge. They are working on dribbling. They are working on shooting the ball. They're also going to be doing a lot of small-sided games, so they're going to get a lot of game practice and also passing the ball in the air.
Several campers spoke about their improvement since last week's launch.
I got better at skills and passing and shooting.
To pass better and to score better. When we have to go around the cone and then we have to flick the ball with our foot.
The BFA's Beach Soccer Camp registration remains open, with the camp concluding August 1st. Reporting for ZNS Total Sports, I'm Swanson Gibson Jr.
Thanks, Swanson, and that's all the time we have for sports on this Tuesday. Until tomorrow, I'm Amajal Knowles, signing out.
It's time now for a weather check with Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, Royce. So we'll get you started with some temperatures around the Family Islands in Marshall, Barbacoa, 82 degrees. Up in Grenada, Key, 81. 81 also in Freeport, Grand Bahama, and the Berry Islands, 83 degrees. Alistown, Bimini at 86, 83 degrees in Harper Island. Rock, Sandy Lutra, 82 degrees. Alistown, Cat Island, also at 82 degrees. And then we pick up some 83s in George, San Exuma. Rum, Keeson, Salvador at 82 degrees. And we take you into Crooked Island, Clarence, Long Island, Ragged Island, 82 as well. Then we pick up a couple of 81s in Acklands and Betsy Bay, McGuana, Machitani, Nago, 85, and the Turks and Caicos Islands at 82 degrees. And our satellite pictures tonight are showing that area of low pressure now over northern Florida, making its way into the Gulf of Mexico. And once it gets into the Gulf of Mexico, we anticipate that it will develop perhaps to a tropical depression. The Hurricane Center is giving it now a 40% chance of becoming a depression over the next 24 hours. So we keep our eyes on it. No problem for us here in the Bahamas, save for the troughing that is creating some showers over the western portion of the northwest Bahamas. But that too will be pushing towards the west. So we can look for some clearing over the next couple of days or so. And our forecast tonight, we're looking at partly cloudy, warm with a couple of thunderstorms, especially early. The low temperature tonight getting down to 80 degrees, and tomorrow breezy in the morning with a couple of thunderstorms and a passing shower in the afternoon. High temperature climbing up to 88 degrees, and your extended weather forecast, we're going to have those pop-up showers. They're going to be with us right through Thursday, but thereafter we're going to get partial sunshine on Friday, lots of sunshine on Sunday, and then when we head into Sunday and Monday of next week, we'll have a couple more showers working their way during the morning hours, and even an isolated thunderstorm in the mix as well. And those temperatures, they're going to become more seasonal as we're going to start clocking those 90s straight through for the next 7 days, which is normal for this time of the year. Bryson?
Thank you very much, Basil. Well, that's going to do it for the Bahamas tonight at 11. Thank you for continuing to make ZNS your first choice for news and information. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. Thank you for watching, and good night.